June 11th, 2021, the start of the Wood Horse. It's going to be fun. What's up, everybody? Today we are going to talk about the start of the Wood Horse month in the middle of the Metal Ox year. Took me 3 tries to say that, and I set off my fire alarm, but we're here, and this is all that you're going to see, so you don't know that it just sucked trying to say all that for whatever reason. So it's going to be kind of dicey. They all are, so at this point, what does it matter? It's not going to be awesome. If you know anything about what a horse is like, they're kind of skittish, they're kind of stubborn, they can, if they're not well trained, they can be a pain in the ass. So we're going to be running into a lot of that throughout this month. I got my notes here, so forgive me if I'm looking down. Straight off what the old Tibetan said, it literally said that the wood horse has a tendency to make conservatives uneasy. So we are going to have an interesting clash, because the wood horse itself, the month that we're going to be going into, is a month of revolution and progress. It's pushing forward and getting stuff done, and it just makes those that are a little bit more stubborn, that are more conservative, not saying that negatively, but people that are typically more conservative, old school, makes it very difficult for them. So we're going to have quite the clash going on. At the end of this, I'm going to do an I-Ching reading, and that's going to kind of reflect all this stuff. It's going to be a good month to stay still, figure stuff out, plan, and get ready for whatever your own personal revolution is, whether that's your new job, your new business venture, whatever it may be. But staying still and planning those things is going to be important, because the energies that we have coming from the year, any actual movement that you're going to try and present and push forward, it's going to kind of be stifled. It's going to be a constant battle, because everything that we have going on in the year and everything we have going on in the month butts heads, which shows itself in the butting heads of individuals. We're going to have a lot of people that are, we're in summer now. People are going to want to get going. They're going to want to get things done. But at the same time, you're going to have that old guard, people that are more classically minded, traditional minded, that are going to be kind of grinding the gears. So it's going to be a lot of start-stop stuff going on. If you know anything about horses, you also know that they're distrustful and distrustful, and they're skittish and they're nervous. And one big issue that can come specifically from the wood horse is that we're going to see it's going to be easy to lose motivation to fear. So you're going to have, like I said, those conservative, more traditionally minded people or individuals. Even if you don't think of yourself as a political conservative, if you're like a parent or a guardian or a grandparent, you kind of naturally are like that. You want your kids to do maybe a little more traditional stuff. You may want your kids to go to school, get a college degree, do this, and your kid wants to be a TikTok star. Well, it is going to be very easy to put that on your child, because the fear is going to be an easy one to kind of stop someone dead in their tracks. So if your kid wants to go off and be a TikTok star, they're not going to make any money. Fear is going to be a very effective way that's going to be blocking people. And if you are the budding TikTok star, look out. Because if you do feel that fear building up in you, just wait it out. Wait it out for the month, because it may be just an effect of what's going on around you. If you know anything about your Tibetan astrology, Chinese astrology kind of uses the same stuff. If you've ever had that menu at the Chinese restaurant where you can, that's your general tendencies, is what we call it in Tibetan astrology, and they pretty much line up. So if you know anything about that, whether you're a goat, a monkey, whatever your animal is, this may be helpful for you. Or if you've gotten your Tibetan astrology, or if you want to buy Tibetan astrology from me, hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, buy my Tibetan astrology, find out your true self, find out what you could be in this life, learn how to become who you were truly meant to be. But if you know your general tendency animal, your year animal, then this will be a little bit helpful. Anybody that is a rat, an ox, a horse, or a rooster could find some issues for different reasons throughout the month. Each one of them will have a different reason. I'm not going to go into get your astrology. Maybe you'll find out. Instagram, Facebook, hit me up. Those that will find it maybe a little bit easier this month will be a tiger or a goat. If you're a caregiver type person, if you're a host type person, if you're very motherly, if you're very loving, you may find a little bit of an extra boost this month. If you're someone who is kind of like a strategist, if you're someone who is more motivated, logical thinking, typically someone who would like fight the good fight and stand up for what is right type of person, you know, kind of bravado-y. You also may find a little boost this month because of the elemental energies that are going on. Something to look out for. Towards the end of this month, not the lunar month, but the solar month, so we're between like the 23rd and the 30th, there's going to be a rough patch. So if you have been like building tension because of all this, like, I mean, think of how a horse acts. They're real high strung, they're real nervous, they're real like anxious to get stuff done, right? And you're going to have the year's energy and the more conservative crowd, not politically, but emotionally, all kind of boxing that in. Be careful not to let that tension build up, because that tension is going to be a huge issue throughout this month, and it may culminate right towards the end of the solar month. Like I said, the 23rd through like the 30th, we're going to have feelings of want and feelings of need and greed, and we're going to have a good bit of purification that's going to sweep through right through that period. So purification can take many forms, but I promise you, just about every form of purification sucks. If you're someone who is super attached to your money, purification could mean your money goes away. If you're someone who's super attached to your lover, you are possessive and like you need your lover, you may find that being ripped out. So there's endings and feelings of want throughout the end of the month. So look out for that. Pay attention. We have a chance right before that all starts. The 22nd in the evening, to prepare for all this stuff. If you have your religious practices, you have deities that you work with, look to do a lot of them on the 22nd in the evening. It's a good time to prepare yourself for that next week that's coming. I implore you, if you think there may be tension building, if you don't think that there may be tension building, if you are just concerned because that could be a rough patch in the month, that's the day. Go overboard. Do all your practices, do all your ceremonies, do all your mystical, magical, witchy shit. That's the time, is the 22nd. 24th is the full moon, and the 25th in the morning is another good time to hit all those practices and ceremonies and all that other crap. And then after you've been beaten down by purification, you also have a chance towards the end on the 28th. But the main one, just prepare yourself in case it gets kind of squirrely around that time of the month. Now we're going to go over into the I-Ching reading. I'm not going to read out the full I-Ching stuff because I don't think you care about the poem. But there are some key parts that I want to tell you, because it was pretty cut and dry. Like I said, there's going to be, when I say conservative or progressive, I do not mean Democrat and Republican. I mean people, think of it more like young people and old people. Old people think things should be a certain way. Young people think things should be a certain way. We're not talking about pro-lifers versus pro-choicers. We're talking about people who are stuck in their way and believe that there's very particular ways that culture should be run. Conservative-minded. Then progressive-minded does not mean people who don't think we should eat cows because they fart too much. We're talking about people who want to change the world. They want things to grow in revolution and in whatever direction that means. That includes the pro-gun guys that think that we should take away the machine gun laws. Like that's, I hope I'm making myself clear here, because I don't want it to be a right versus left thing. Right versus left? Which way is it? Doesn't matter. So, in the beginning of the I-Ching, it says the superior man keeps the inferior man at a distance, not angrily, but out of reserve. He holds tightly with yellow oxhide. It's obvious what the beginning says. In the I-Ching, we typically have the superior and the inferior man. The superior man is the one that does the right thing. Basically, that's the good guy. The inferior man is like the dunce. So the one who is being intelligent over the next month is seeing people that are getting frantic and angry and like, we're gonna storm the Capitol, we're gonna, whatever it is, whatever dumb shit, we're gonna burn down a city because people are hurting us. You live in the city. That's the city. Stop burning down your city, please. Anyway, those people, both groups, right and left, the ones that are doing the dumb shit, people that have their head on straight are just staying away from that whole thing. If you find yourself, maybe you got turned on to an Antifa clique, maybe like back out a little bit because maybe they're stupid. If you find yourself at Boogaloo Boy meetings where you're wanting to fight the United States government over whatever, take a step back. These groups that are extreme by a lot of people's standards, you may not see them as extreme, but it's a good month to step back because trouble. It's just trouble. So the superior man will keep the inferior man at a distance. Not because he hates them, not because I'm a right-winger and I hate Antifa, or I'm a left-winger and I hate the Boogaloo Boys, just because we should tread lightly. In fact, when it goes into, he holds tightly with the yellow oxhide. In the old world, yellow was the color of the middle way. We all spiritual people know about the middle way. There are valid points on both sides. So you need to know, from me to you personally, if you are strong one side, there's an issue. The superior man holds tightly to the yellow oxhide. Middle. Pull yourself back at least for the month. Then in the middle part, it actually talks about retreating. It talks about when you start to back away and there's all this friction and then you go over here and there's a little friction this way and, well, you don't believe exactly what I believe, so I'm not. The superior man retreats. Just now, this is not a month for fighting. The more fighting that we do, the more problems that we cause. I don't know how many of these readings that I have done recently that are all about, like, fighting each other is what's getting us in trouble. Us infighting is the issue. Because maybe possibly there's like groups of people that might possibly want us to all be fighting, because if we're fighting ourselves, then we wouldn't go and fight them because they have thousands of troops in the Capitol building now and they're taking over the country. But that's just nothing. I didn't, it's whatever. Probably shouldn't fight each other though. Maybe us regular folk need each other. The fucking Bible, the Buddhists say it, the Hindu, Jesus. Purification will go easier if we follow this advice. Like I said, that last month or that last week of June is going to be a rougher week. But if we can remain calm, if we are focusing on strategizing our own stuff, like I was saying in the astrology part of it, and we're not fighting to get out with action or revolution or all this other stuff that may pull on us, and we're kind of keeping to ourselves and our little group and not getting all pissy with everybody. If you're more progressive, pissing off the conservatives. If you're more conservative, pissing off the progressives. It will be a much easier week for you, and you might not even notice the friction. You'll see it in other people, but you may not notice it yourself, okay? And then after all that being said about how it'll probably be easier, the last one is the final changing line, which is basically the outcome of the reading for the next month. Undeserved misfortunes, something, something, and the citizens' loss. It specifically goes in talking about how the citizens we're getting the shit end of the deal. Regardless, there's going to be misfortune. And it's going to fall on the citizens. The people that are in charge are not going to have the issues. It's going to be us, as it always is. Like, we fight each other too much, and if we keep fighting each other, it's so bitchy. So ultimately, it's not a happy story, because it's never a happy story, because this is how the astrology always goes. And the I-Ching and the whatever. I would like to find one of these people who do these tarot readings that are like, next month you are going to manifest all of your dreams and it's going to be super wonderful. How is it that I have done 378,000 different readings and every one of them is like, it's probably going to suck? And everybody else is like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to manifest a receipt that says $1 billion next month. Don't worry. few years, money won't matter anyway. But what do I know? It's got the internet. If you want to get your astrology, if you have your astrology, this stuff is much easier to relate to you and get much more specific. If you do have your astrology, hit me up and I can actually compare these things to tell you how it's specifically going to affect you. Yeah, I sell the astrology, I do the divination, I got I-Ching, I got Mo, I got Khil Khors, I can make you talismans. If you are concerned about the sketchy things that are going on, hit me up. I can make you traditional Tibetan talismans that will help to pull you through the hard times and the weird times and all the crap that's coming up. So let me know. Hit me up, Instagram, Facebook, Bear.Of.Wands, Bear.Of.Wands. I love you guys. Stay safe. Do your practices on the 22nd, please. It will help, I promise. Then 23rd to the 30th, I don't know, go hide in a bunker or something. That's what I'm going to do. Love y'all. Say your mantra, take your vitamins, and stay grateful, y'all.